Hey, welcome Andrew Ainsworth Golf Academy. Warm welcome to you. Thanks for tuning in and watching the little video today. I recently posted a full review on the new TaylorMade Sim 2 driver. Going to put a link up there somewhere, and there'll be an end card as well if you want to go and check that. That's quite a long video, tells you all about the tech, and we hit it and we talk about it. I want to talk now to you today about the Sim 2 Max driver. Remember, in the new TaylorMade range there are three drivers. There's the Sim 2, which is the sort of low spinning version. We've got the Sim 2 Max, which is the more forgiving version. And then we've got the Draw, which we'll post in a few days' time. So let's tell you today about the Sim 2 Max. Not going to give you full boring review on everything here. If you want to find out, there's loads of detail here on TaylorMade's website, which is great, which will give you all the techie specky. But basically, what we've got with the Sim 2 Max is a higher launch and higher MOI. And the way they've achieved this is that they've put a 24-gram tungsten weight right at the back of the club. We've got the, at the front here, we've got the TPS front weight, which is strategically located on the sole to encourage optimal launch and spin. So we're going to hit some shots with it. We're going to attempt to do a variable speed test today, which is always quite tricky. I'm going to try and swing the club at 3 different speeds, sort of mid-80s, mid-90s, and then somewhere over 100. Now, I've got the Rogue silver shaft fitted in this one. It's 63 grams. It's in a stiff, and I appreciate 45 and 3/4 inches long. And I appreciate that if you were going to get fitted for a driver at 85 miles an hour, you probably wouldn't use a stiff, but I'm going to kind of make this work, hopefully. So, and the idea of this is just to give you people watching the video, if that's your sort of swing speed, an idea of how this club performs. It's not always about distance though, is it? We're looking for forgiveness, and we're looking to get away with those slight off-center hits. So I'll just get everything set up and we'll dive in there and we'll hit some shots. Stay tuned, be right back. Okay, let's hit a few. We're going to go with the mid-80s attempt first of all. I've got GC2 running, HMT. And I've got the club set at 10.5 degrees of loft for all these shots. So let's dive in and hit a couple and see where we go. Might take a while. Have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. Here we go. Ooh, GC2's running in slight slow motion there. There we go. Let's speed it up. So, first shot coming up. It's quite difficult trying to slow a swing speed down, so let's bring that one up. That was an attempt of a mid-80s swing, and as you can see, I didn't quite achieve that, but we'll take it. 93 miles an hour of club head speed with a ball speed of 127 miles an hour. That gave me a carry distance of 208 yards carry, dependent on ground conditions. I've set my GC2 here to slightly firm. That's given me a total distance of 235 yards. Launch angle 14.3 and a backspin rate there of 22.09. Strike was a little bit high toe, as you can see here. Now, strike location has a big effect, don't forget, on the numbers that we get back. You hit it at the toe, at the heel. The numbers are going to move around, but what all these manufacturers are after, and TaylorMade are after with this driver, is trying to deal with the off-center strikes. So there's a pretty good example. The real strike location is probably a little bit more into this area, but it was definitely towing. So not a bad start. Yeah, there we go. Is that the sort of shot shape you might hit? A little bit of a fadey one. So here's a high fade. That's a shot I see a lot of golfers hitting, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with a high fade. It's the shot that all the tour pros are trying to hit these days. And I've got my club speed there pretty much where I wanted it, 87 miles an hour. a 121 ball speed. Because I've delivered that club a little bit out to him, with the club face slightly open, I've developed quite a lot more backspin, as you can see. Backspin rate's up to 3,200. Strike was good, only giving me a carry distance there of 184, but with a predicted run out of 207. Now we're going to spice things up a little bit. We're going to hit the accelerator, and we're going to see if we can push this up to, I don't know, 103, 104 miles an hour. Let's just pause for a minute and talk a little bit more about the club. Cosmetically, I quite like it. I said in the big video that I did that some people may not find it their cup of tea. It is a little bit busy on the top there with some of the graphics. I quite like that. It's got this lovely matte carbon finish to it with the white accents. So I think it's visually, it's quite appealing. It's certainly got shelf appeal as you see it from this side on. We'll put some close-up pictures on it. So yeah, we've got the twist phase technology going on here. You know, we've got the speed pockets. There's a lot of tech going on in this club. As there is with all the big clubs these days, they're all trying to push the envelope a little bit. Ooh, that was pretty good. A little bit of a fade again. Not my normal shot. For those of you who watch my videos, I'm normally a bit of a drawer. It's set to standard this at 10.5. I think that will probably push into 3 figures for club speed. I'd love to hit that shot in real life, that little controlled fade. 104 miles an hour club speed, 143 ball speed, carry distance of 230, predicted total 251. Quite high on the backspin at 3,176, but this is kind of what this club is designed to do. You know, it is designed to get the ball up in the air, and I think if I was fitting myself for one of these TaylorMade drives, I would go into the low spinning sim head, as I did in the first video. The max really isn't quite in sync with my swing. I think it would be great for the golfer who's maybe swinging it at, you know, just under 100 miles an hour. I guess I could put stiffer shafts in here. I could play around with that. And what I might do in a minute, just for fun, is just knock some loft off this and see if by cranking the loft down, just sort of take some of that spin off. So, you know, great result. Love the shot shape. So I've just popped the loft down from 10.5 down to 8.5. Bear in mind that on most drivers, and this one as well definitely happens, when you take loft off the club, so when you go from 10.5 to 8.5, it also makes the club sit a little bit more open. Okay, probably, I'm guessing maybe a degree and a half more open than standard. As you add loft, if I took this up from 10.5 to 12.5, that would close the face. That applies to most drivers. So 8.5 degrees of loft now, same shaft. Just change the tracker on the ball to yellow. This should obviously lower launch angle and lower spin, but can I control it? That would be the point. Ooh, so definitely a lower ball flight, much more penetrating. Loving this shape. I'm not fighting my draw, which is great. I'm normally turning a lot of these shots over. Interesting that. Have a look. Yeah, see. And I think this is what we've got to bear in mind here. I've got the launch angle, I've got the club speed absolutely identical here, 104.3, 104.2. But the launch angle at 10.5 was 12.5 degrees. Got it down to 10, but I'm still fighting this backspin. The backspin rate there was still at 3,000 revs. Let's just bring up this one so you can see it. There's a centre strike, bang, launch angle 10, but still struggling to get this spin rate down. And I think that's more the design of this driver is kind of doing what it's made to do. It's helping get the ball up in the air with this high launch. It's just my club head speed's maybe a little bit higher for this club to perform to its absolute max. So there we go, interesting numbers, loving the shot shape. I'm going to continue to experiment with these drivers. It's the Sim 2 Max, and I think there'll be a lot of golfers out there who will definitely benefit from this driver. Bristling with technology, and I very much enjoyed hitting it. Post your comments down below. If you're new to the channel, don't be afraid to subscribe, and I'll be back soon with some more videos. All the best, bye for now.